Brewski Bros. We're the Brewski Bros. You guys are the Brewski Bros. We just decided to start this podcast just, for fun, entertain you guys, because I think we have some pretty interesting conversations. So we decided to just start a podcast. So decided to drink some beers on the podcast. Kind of inspired by Whiskey Ginger podcast with the whiskey, with their whiskey.
Andrew Santino. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. The beer we're drinking today is the Sweetwater 420 strain. It's a G13 IPA. It's pretty dope. The label's pretty funny too. You want to read it?
Yeah, so it's a regular IPA that's then infused with terpenes from the G13 cannabis strain. So there's no THC. It's not going to get you high, but it says we took an already dank IPA and married its hops with strain-specific terpenes and natural hemp-type flavor. The result is an aromatic super hybrid, sticky IPA that's ready to rip. So, kind of a new twist on beer, I guess, that's been out recently is, hemp-infused beers.
Yeah.
So, if you like something different from the regular IPA, definitely recommend this.
I feel like it's like a big marketing thing too with how big weed is these days, like the big push for legalization.
Definitely. Saying 420 strain.
Yeah.
It's like
people who smoke weed, and a lot of people still like alcohol and smoke weed. It's not like a one or the other type thing.
Yeah.
Like, the stoners out there who also drink, they're probably going to see this and be like, oh yeah, like let's get that beer.
And like the G13 marijuana strain has like supposedly the G stands for government, and it's supposed to be like this government weed strain that came out, I think in the 90s or something. But there's like a little bit of a story behind it.
Nice. But yeah, if you guys want to learn more about the Sweetwater G13 420 strain, the first link is in the description below. So if you guys are interested in learning more about it, check it out. It should be like a Billy link. So check it out.
6% alcohol. 6% good stuff. Cheers to the first podcast.
Cheers to the first podcast. Cheers.
Wait, did we introduce ourselves yet?
Have we? No.
So this is Austin. I'm Calvin.
We're the Brewski Bros.
You guys are the Brewski Bros. And basically on every podcast, we're going to be drinking a different beer, kind of talking about it a little bit. And really, we're just hanging out, having a regular conversation. Who knows who's going to watch this, but hopefully there's some of you guys out there that appreciate the interesting conversation and good beer.
Yeah, so tell your friends, broskies.
And then maybe we'll smoke weed on the podcast in the future.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But today's topic, if you haven't noticed already, weed, weed in general, legalization, like stories, So where should
420.
Yeah, 420.
So let's see. I mean, so we live in Chicago. Illinois recently legalized marijuana. So medically, but then they passed the legislation for recreational too. Yeah. So then January 1st, we can just go to a store and buy weed because we're of age, got to be 21 and over. And then obviously a bunch of other states have legalized too, but I don't know, comment down below if you guys live in a state where weed is legal, what changes have you seen in your state, if any? Do you guys agree or disagree with legalization? Personally, I think we both, like most young people, agree with marijuana legalization.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's safer than tobacco.
Right, definitely. I mean, they've done the studies that show, like, your lung cancer risk is essentially non-existent with cannabis use, and with tobacco, obviously, like, it generates different carcinogens too. Yeah. So like tobacco, way worse for you.
I'm pretty interested to know like how, because trying to play devil's advocate, I wonder how bad it is like the THC through just gummies. If you only take gummies or edibles, so that way you don't even have like the wear and tear on your lungs.
Yeah, true.
Because like if you smoke anything, I'm a big supporter of weed. But if you smoke anything, no matter what it is, like it's gonna have an effect on your lungs. But I wonder, like, because that's not a thing if you're taking edibles. So I wonder, like, what the health differences are between that.
I mean, vaping, too, is another safer way to do it, healthier way. And, like, with smoking, you actually end up destroying a lot of the THC and, like, the terpenes in the weed. Mm-hmm. So you're not, like, maximizing the flavor and the potency of it. But if you vape it, there's very little loss. You get like the full flavor of the terpenes. They're not just getting destroyed by an ember that's burning them off. And like, same with all the other cannabinoids. Like you're essentially burning away a lot of that potency when you're smoking, and it's not getting into your system.
Yeah.
So terpenes are important. They have health benefits, and they help get you higher too.
Yeah.
So terpenes are important.
So what legal states have you been to so far?
Colorado, California. Let's see. I've had weed from other legal states, but but just Colorado, California, and personally, like some people will say that California has the best weed in the country.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think.
Like I mean, there's good weed everywhere.
Yeah.
But from what I saw in Colorado, like if you know what dispensaries to go to, good weed's a lot easier to find out there, or at least it was when I lived out there. This is a few years back, but. You know, California, I mean, some of those medical dispensaries back in the medical days were super sketchy.
Yeah.
Like, I saw some that were literally selling brick weed. Like Mexican brick weed from the cartel.
Jeez.
You know, with seeds, a bunch of stems, just bricked up brown swag. And like people were buying that at the dispensaries. And they would just pay cash to whoever walked in with weed, basically. And a lot of times they wouldn't lab test it. Yeah. So, like, you might be smoking pesticides, fungicides. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Mold.
Yeah, I've been to Colorado, too, and California. And I also went to Vegas. It was actually... I went to Vegas for not the first time, but when it was legalized, I went there, 2 months after. It just happened to be 2 months after they legalized it recreationally. And... I was the happiest man alive, but
I bet.
But it was surprisingly amazing. I would put it below Colorado still, but definitely above California.
Right.
Like Vegas weed is nothing to be messed with.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some huge pictures of huge grow operations in Nevada, and it's just like they're putting millions of dollars into these things.
Yeah. Like
super high tech, best quality lighting, environmental controls, and so. I mean, I think the difference out there is there's a lot of indoor weed. You know, they probably have some greenhouse, but probably not a lot of outdoor.
Yeah, and it's too hot. And
yeah,
dry.
Exactly. And California, they have a good climate for growing outdoor, so they have a lot of outdoor there.
Yeah.
They also have a lot of greenhouse.
What's the difference between outdoor and indoor?
So, outdoor, you're just going to be growing underneath the sun, and the flowers are going to be exposed to rain, wind, the elements essentially.
Yeah.
If there's a forest fire, which happens often in California, during the grow season, they'll have ash coming down from the area. It'll stick all over the buds and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you get a darker color, generally more leafy weed, out of an outdoor grow. And then a lot of outdoor growers are growing soil, so it's not as smooth of a smoke. Yeah. They're not able to flush out the bud as well as indoor because most indoor is hydroponically grown. Yeah. So they can cut off the nutrients before harvest and just give them straight water to flush out the plants. Yeah. So you get a better, cleaner burn on it, more even burn. Burns to a white ash versus most outdoors turns to a gray or black ash. Yeah.
A lot of people think that it's black ash, that's normal.
Right.
What's the difference?
It's definitely not. If you see black ash, there's usually residual nutrients and carbohydrates left in the plant material that you're smoking.
Is that bad?
And I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily bad for your health, but I would imagine it's not good for you. Yeah. And it's harsher smoke. It doesn't burn evenly. If your weed goes out all the time when you're smoking, let's say you rolled up a joint, it just goes out constantly. You have to keep relighting it. Yeah. If you rolled it properly, it means that weed's probably not flushed out right. Yeah. So, or it could have been sprayed, at some point with something that's flame retardant. There's a lot of pesticides that are used on weed that are only designed for food crops, so they're not supposed to get burned. Yeah. And that's another really common thing in California is a lot of the grows out there, they use pesticides and especially fungicides. Mm-hmm. And those fungicides, when they're incinerated through the smoking process, they create some horrible byproducts. Yeah. So heavy metal byproducts that are never supposed to be ingested into the human body. Yeah. So
have you had any funny weed experiences? What's the funniest weed experience you've had?
So one of the first times I smoked weed, it was actually the second time I smoked weed in my life, was in Amsterdam. So we were like underage at the time, and it was Ramon and Pat and I, so two of my high school friends, and we're just staying at my aunt's place, and we decided to just walk over to the coffee shop, and we meet these college students from Georgia. So I'm like, yeah, do you think you could buy us some weed? And they're like, oh, I mean, I guess so. And so I just gave them like a 20 euro bill. They went in, bought like a G of weed for us.
Nice.
And then like told them what strain I wanted and everything. So we got, I think it was Pineapple Chunk was the strain. So it smelled kind of like pineapples.
Yeah.
We roll it up, and we go to smoke it out at the canal middle of the night. And like we finished the whole joint, and both my friends were like, oh, well, like, I don't feel it at all. Like, I don't feel anything. Like, are you sure this is good weed?
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, trust me, guys. Like, I feel it. Like, you're going to feel it in a second.
I feel it.
And so we got up. We're like, all right, let's go inside and see if we could, if like, it'll change anything. So we get up from the bench. We start walking. And so Ramon, he just gets on his knees, and he's like he's in the middle of the street, just holding this street. He's like, guys, I lost the street. I don't know where the street is. He's like freaking out. He lost where the street was, dude. He said he couldn't feel his legs, and he thought he was just floating.
What?
Yeah. And so he had to like physically touch the street. There was like a car coming, and like the car slowed down, obviously. We're like, Ramon, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then
it's like laced with acid.
who knows, man? It was psychedelic, because we were like, we were gonna go to the basement of my aunt's place, and it's like a really modern looking house, so it's like really sharp lines, like white and black surfaces on everything.
Yeah.
So we're like walking down the stairs, and I swear to you, I was like transformed into like a cartoon world for a second. Like, it didn't even seem real. I was like, this does not look real.
It was definitely laced with something.
Who knows, dude? But it was also one of the first times we smoked, and we finished like, we smoked a G of some really strong weed.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, that would get me pretty stoned nowadays.
Yeah.
So like with it.
Yeah, and when you're like your first few times, you kind of like want to be high, so like you kind of over embellish it, and you like kind of psych yourself out. I feel like.
Yeah, but I also didn't know what to expect. Like the first time I got high, I was like, oh, is it gonna be like super powerful, or is it just like a super like chill feeling that you barely notice?
Yeah.
And like my first time smoking, it was super chill. I didn't smoke that much. I definitely got a little baked, but it wasn't like overwhelming, and I was like, wow, like I can't believe people are so like obsessed with this, because it's not even that strong. Like I barely felt it.
Yeah.
And then when I smoked in Amsterdam, I was like, this is like a whole new world. Like this shit just blew my mind.
Damn.
We each ate a huge bag of Doritos, and then just passed out after 30 minutes. Woke up like 16 hours later.
Damn.
We all woke up at the same time. We're like, what happened? We're like freaking out.
What happened?
And we checked the time. We're like, what the fuck?
Dude, one of the the first few times I smoked, I didn't even like feel it at all, which I feel like that's a normal thing for some people. Like they just don't even get high. Right. Is that like normal?
Yeah, it is normal, but I also think it's inhaling. Like when I first smoked, I barely knew how to inhale properly.
Yeah.
So I only inhaled like once or twice, and like all the other times I like couldn't do it because I couldn't figure it out. I hadn't smoked anything.
One of my friends couldn't figure it out. Like, he just couldn't, dude. He just looked like an idiot.
But I also, like, I smoked by myself. Like, I didn't have any of my friends that were experienced with smoking around me. Like, everyone else was too scared to try it. So I'm like, all right, guys. Like, there were, like, 6 other people there. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. You guys are all pussies.
Yeah.
Smoked it, and, like, I don't know. It was a struggle. Smoked it through an apple, which probably didn't help. It was difficult.
Yeah.
But still the best way to smoke. If you guys haven't smoked out of an apple, definitely recommend it.
When I was at Ramon's place, I flew in and he was at work, so I just went in, like he like left the key, or I don't remember, the place was open, so I was able to get in, no one was there. Nice. I just see like a little bit of weed on the table and then an apple and a lighter. And just like take as much as you want. I was like, oh, let's go.
That's awesome.
So I just packed up like the apple. First time I ever smoked out of an apple. Yeah. That was pretty funny.
I remember I picked up Ramon and Nick and Tom at it was at the Denver airport. Just picked them up with like 2 J's. We were just smoking on the way back. They're like, I am so high right now. We got lost on the way back from the airport.
Like, of course, lost. I always get lost from one place.
Yeah, I suck at directions generally, so I can't.
Me too.
doing directions while
a lot of people, when like you talk about, like we're talking about weed, like a lot of people who might be watching this and they're just like, they've never experienced it. They're probably just like, oh my God. And they're probably already clicked off actually, but like, they're probably like, oh my God, like weed, I can't believe it. Like these guys smoke. I'm not watching this. I'm reporting it. I'm disliking it. And then
I think it's also like a cultural thing. Like a lot of people, they didn't grow up in the same environment that we did.
Yeah.
Where like it's more open. Like if they grew up 30 years ago, like they're gonna be in like they're gonna have a totally different worldview. Like that includes on marijuana, and like they're just. I think at a certain age you get closed-minded too.
Yeah.
But I have read like the biggest increase in the amount of marijuana smokers is in like the older age ranges, like people over the age of 50. Yeah.
Probably like from the 60s, like
exactly.
those people.
Yeah, because they're retiring and they're like, oh, well, I can smoke weed again. You know what I mean? Like
and I'm allowed
a lot of states, it's legal.
And a lot of like people who are like in their 60s, they actually have like health problems that like warrant them a medical card. So they're like, for example, there's someone at my work. He's like the front desk guy, and he's just like always on edibles, like all the time. He's like, yeah, glaucoma. I'm like, oh shit.
That's probably serious. I don't know how much. I have heard weed helps glaucoma because like you feel it in your eyes, like the decrease in pressure.
Yeah.
So I think in glaucoma, like your eyes get pressurized. I could be wrong about that, but like the pressure builds up in your eyes. Yeah. Like, dude, I would not want that. That would fucking suck.
Yeah.
I would be smoking weed all day.
Weed would probably just relax you so much too. Like when your eyes feel that pressure.
I would just be dabbing all day. So I got glaucoma, bitch. Can't stop me.
Yeah.
Alright, almost done with the first beer.
What do you think of it so far?
Pretty good. I mean,
have you had it before? I mean, we just had it the other day, but did you have it before that?
Yeah, I did. I had it with Tony, but they have, I guess I could describe the flavors kind of like, it tastes similar to a regular IPA, but it has more of like, maybe like a pine or a citrus sort of like smell and taste going on with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like,
I wouldn't say it smells like weed, but it kind of does remind me of weed a little bit. It might just be like a placebo.
Weed, like a weed plant. That's what it smells more similar to like a weed plant than like dried weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more of like, I don't know, juicy.
Okay. But another thing was like the people who are like totally against weed, those people are the ones who have never smoked before.
Right.
So they're just like, like you said once, like whether you're against it or you support it, like you should try. Like, 'cause I'm sure there are some people who have never tried it. And they're just like, oh yeah, it should be legalized. But in order to have an opinion, you should definitely like try what you're having an opinion on, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a politician that's voting on a marijuana related issue, I think they should do some of their own research. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some like experiments.
A little bit of stoner research on every politician's part, I think, would move things forward a lot faster.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things in the country, honestly.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that should be one of the things with illegal immigration. Like, they should try and cross the border illegally and, like, see how easy or difficult it is.
Yeah.
And then just be like, well, we were able to just walk across.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's like, well, it was a fucking journey. It took 3 days through a desert. You know, most people probably aren't going to do this. It would probably give them more perspective.
Yeah.
And, like, I would personally like to see more politicians, like, go out on social media and stuff and actually, like, show themselves at the border.
Yeah.
Show themselves
trying weed.
Like, exactly, trying weed. Like, all this other stuff, just be open with it.
Yeah.
And
that'll never happen though. Like maybe like way in the future, but like these days politicians are like so cryptic. Like
their PR agency would probably be like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, no way, dude. even look at what happened to Elon, just smoking on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, true.
Dude, Elon, like, what? Do you remember what happened? I can't remember exactly what happened, but I thought like the government was gonna like fine his company, or like weren't they looking into Tesla?
Well, I think he was saying
SpaceX.
He was saying he was gonna take Tesla private. Take the stock private at $4 or $420 a piece.
Yeah.
He said at $420, and it was just like it ended up not happening. I don't even remember why, but it ended up not happening. I think they were like looking into it because it could be considered like market manipulation. Because say Tesla's at $350 and he says, "Oh, we're taking it private at $420."
Yeah.
Well, people are gonna start buying it up, right? So I don't know if like the SEC is going to do anything about that, but they probably got pissed.
Yeah.
So, but about the weed thing though, like the stock crashed. Like it didn't crash, but it dipped down the next day.
Yeah.
So,
I remember the government was looking into it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made like all the employees at SpaceX and Tesla. I think they made them like do drug tests and stuff.
Oh, just for the weed thing?
Yeah, just from that weed thing.
Fuck?
I remember the government was looking into his companies like big time.
That's kind of great. Well, does he get government contracts for stuff?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
probably that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you work for the government, you can't smoke weed, probably.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know. It kind of makes sense, I guess. If you're doing stuff related to national security, I probably wouldn't want those people baked.
Yeah, there are definitely times when you can't be smoking, like
Yeah.
you can't be baked. Like for example, like a pilot, like if I'm going to like
Flying a
if I'm going to like
airplane somewhere.
if I'm going to like Vegas right now, I don't want my pilot to just be like hot box in the front, you know? gotta have like a good mind to like flying that. Like not saying that it would make you a bad mind, but like you gotta have a clear head.
I wouldn't mind having a stoned pilot in an interesting flight. You just come in all the way off to the side of the runway and land in the grass.
Or he gets lost or just run out of gas.
Oh god. Forgets to turn the autopilot on, he's just flying straight.
Yeah, he's like, I got this, just flying
up in
himself.
the middle of the Atlantic.
Oh, that'd be fucked.
Where's this bottle opener at?
Oh, I left it over here.
Okay. Sir, beer number 2.
Yeah, that's like another scenario where like someone shouldn't be driving. Like obviously a lot of people do like still drive when they're high, but like
yeah,
I don't know. They got to think of a better way than what they're already doing because right now, like at least in Colorado, I know they do like roadside like mouth swabs to see if like it's in your system. But the thing with that is that weed stays within your saliva for like up to 2 days. So if you smoked like 2 days ago, and then you're driving, you feel completely fine.
Well, I mean, I think the real question is like, should they even be testing for that in the first place? Like, is it actually a danger to the public if people are stoned and driving?
Yeah.
Like, if they have scientific evidence that says, okay, if you have over X amount of, you know, THC in your system, and it has to be THC, not like a THC metabolite, because THC metabolites don't get you high. It's the actual THC.
Yeah.
Once you metabolize it, it's not going to affect you.
Yeah.
So just the THC should be tested, but they're going to have a really difficult time doing that. And like, they need to establish a level at which driving becomes dangerous.
Yeah, kind of like how in Illinois, 0.08 for alcohol.
0.08, yep. And like, that's also not based on science. So like the 0.08 number, it's supposed to be 0.12. That's what the scientists recommended based on the studies they did as the safe legal limit.
Yeah.
But then there's this group called Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and they lobbied the government to lower it to 0.08.
Yeah.
So the 0.08 is, you know, it's an artificially low number. It's not scientifically valid.
Yeah.
Which is stupid because when you're making laws that aren't based on science, then it makes you look illegitimate, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It doesn't make the government seem legitimate. If they're doing it off of science and studies and, you know, and they're not just like, you know, shifting things around because of special interest groups.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a lot better, but I haven't seen anything about that in regards to weed. Like, I haven't seen a study that says, like,
I know, me either. I think
drivers found to be a danger after consuming X amount of cannabis.
They need to start doing, like, actual studies on this stuff because it's not like it's going away anytime soon.
Exactly.
Like, states are actually legalizing it. Like, that's a tough process.
Yeah.
And if it's actually happening, it's obviously not going to just go away overnight.
Yeah.
So we got to start, like, doing some tests and stuff on this stuff.
It's a good idea because, I mean, it's already legal in so many states, so why couldn't someone in California just open up, you know, a little research facility, they have a closed course, you know, they give people cannabis, they measure how much, you know, THC, CBD, and other cannabinoids they have in their blood.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they can figure out at which level it's going to be dangerous, if any level at all.
Yeah, they're on, like, a track or something, and there's, like, you know, obstacles and, like, you know, real life, like, simulation type stuff.
Exactly.
And, like, see their reaction and...
Well, maybe they could do something where they, like, analyze someone's body movements. Let's say, like, if you have to walk in a straight line, they just have some sort of technology that scans the person walking, and it can tell if someone's messed up or not.
Yeah.
Like, if they're like clearly like unbalanced, and they can prove that, like, you know, they failed this test.
Yeah.
Then it might be like a better way to test than like checking how much is actually in their blood, because people have different tolerance levels.
Yeah,
and stuff.
definitely. And like I said, like there's multiple factors that go into it. But like what you just said kind of reminded me of like, you know how in video games, like let's say like MLB or like NBA, they, in order to like get the players like actual movements, they like put those little like things on them, you know? And
then,
and then they're like, it's like a black background, and then they like dribble the ball with all the things on them.
Exactly.
That would be a good way to like test like if the movement of someone who's on marijuana is like different than when they're not.
Yep. And they could use it for alcohol too, even. Because like if it could just pick up if someone's inebriated, like maybe someone if they have like some sort of an injury, they wouldn't be able to pass the test to begin with. Yeah. But a normal healthy individual, like I think a computer system probably would be able to scan them.
Yeah,
like
100%.
If they do certain exercises and things like that, they would be able to determine whether or not that person's like inebriated.
Yeah. And I used to like I work out like every single day usually. Like lately I haven't been just because I like taking breaks, and then I think that's another story, but I feel like I just have like better muscle growth if I give my body like a month break, for example. So that's what I'm doing right now. But before, and I'm also not smoking right now, but before every day I would go to the gym, I would just smoke like a decent amount. Like I would get like blazed as hell, go to the gym. Yeah. And like it would just get me in the zone. Right, yeah. And I would push my limits.
You feel each individual muscle that you're working out at.
You like
just focus on it.
You just zone in on it. I think it like, you know how they say like weed activates, like it makes your brain like process things, or what? You know what exactly they say about it?
I think people say like you experience time more slowly when you're high because your brain is bringing in more like sensory information.
Yeah, the sensory information. That's what I'm talking about.
I think that could definitely be the reason why.
Yeah, because like whenever I'm working out, like you said, I could feel like the fibers, like which ones are moving. Like if I'm doing like chest, I could feel like exactly which fibers. Like I'm not using the upper chest. I'm like, you know,
exactly.
I feel like weed like activates something within you.
Definitely, I agree. I mean, that happens to me for like a lot of different things too. Like not just working out where you feel each individual muscle.
Maybe like coding for you.
Yeah, coding, reading, trying new things. Generally, it's like we were talking about this the other day, where like weed kind of gives you that fucking mindset. Yeah, and like sometimes that's good. Sometimes it might not be good because you actually do have to give a fuck. Yeah. Like you're doing a huge speech or something for a class, probably not a good idea to be super baked for it. Yeah. You know, but if, you know, you're just learning about something new, let's say you want to learn about like Forex trading, which is something I've been getting into recently. Yeah. Learning about Forex trading, you know, smoke a little bit of weed kind of makes you more willing to like explore and learn more about the subject.
Yeah, but if you're sober and you're trying to learn about that, well, you might not even want to.
Right, or it might seem uninteresting.
Yeah, uninteresting, like, boring. Yeah. Oh, I'd rather go watch TV. Like I would rather just go sit on the couch. You know, I'd rather just go chill with the boys, like that kind of thing. But like, I feel like if you smoke and you're around the right people with like the right mindset, like some people they're just like, oh yeah, I smoke, and then they're just done. Like they don't want to do anything after that. But then there's other people that like. They smoke and then they just get creative as hell. And then that like creativity right there, I feel like the creativity makes you like, oh, I wonder like what this is all about. Like I want to make some money right now. Like let's go find out a new way to make money. Exactly. And like you find Forex trading. So then you just become like a master at Forex trading. Yep. But usually you'd be like trading. Like why would I spend my time doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like as like a, you know, like a teenage, like 20-year-old, like why would I spend my precious time when I could just go out and party? Why would I go and like smoke weed and like if you weren't smoking the weed, like why would I start learning how to trade Forex? Like smoking weed like breaks that barrier, it gives you that fucking mindset.
It definitely does, and like it can make more boring things interesting too. Yeah. So it's like something's really like routine and mundane. It can kind of help break that up a little bit. But I mean, that sounds really cliche. I just realized that. But just saying all these good things about weed, because I mean there are like downsides to weed too.
Like what?
I think. It depends on the kind of weed you smoke too and the kind of person you are, but I think it can make people pretty lazy.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. That's how like probably the majority of people are. They probably just get really lazy. Right. They go watch podcasts.
Right. Exactly. I'm sure a lot of you guys are right now. So like I can definitely see that, and that can be good too, because like if you have high stress levels, you might need that you know, to like relax. Yeah. Things like that. But you know, if you're smoking first thing.
Oh, okay. All right, we hit the maximum recording time, so start again. All right, keep going.
What was I talking about? No. What was I talking about?
Oh, shit, dude.
No, I remember. So we were talking about weed making people lazy. And so, like, personally, I like to smoke in the afternoon or at night just because it makes it, I don't know, it's just good to relax at the end of the day, especially if you've worked hard and done productive things during the day. I feel like not smoking during the day and then coming home and smoking as a reward is great. Versus if you like smoke in the morning, you're already like rewarding yourself. You haven't even started doing the work.
Yeah,
for the
that's
day.
true right there.
So
the reward, like there's
like,
no reason, that's a good point.
It
right
can
there.
be unmotivating, but it could be used for motivation at the same time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
like the way that I look at it, no matter if it's indica or sativa, I think it comes down to like the type of person that you are. Like if you're a person that likes to make like shitty choices and like. Let's say weed is not even involved, and you're just a lazy motherfucker, and you're just like
and unintelligent.
And unintelligent.
It's like
you just sit and like watch Jersey Shore, and like you just sit there and don't
Kardashians.
You just like don't do anything in the world. You just like go and lay on your couch all fucking day.
Right, exactly.
But like that's your choice right there, without even marijuana being there. Like a lot of people who do smoke also do that.
Right.
But like it's all about the choices that you fundamentally make like on your daily.
Exactly. And if you get into the habit of not doing anything, like if you're in the habit of like, oh, okay, every time I smoke, I put on a movie or I like watch a TV show or just do something where I'm not learning and stimulating my brain.
Yeah.
It's like you're almost making a decision and a habit out of not doing shit when you get high. And like every time, if you do that 50 times, that 51st time you smoke, you're probably going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So...
And then when you want to try and break that and you want to start doing something productive,
right.
It's going to be like a struggle for you. And you're probably going to see it as a struggle too. You're going to be like, oh, I don't want to learn this Forex trading right now. I just want to go like fucking chill.
Exactly.
You're not like in that mindset. But if you start out and you're just like, all right, I'm smoking this and then I'm going to go learn this Forex or I'm going to go learn like how to grow
work out or something or go for a run or whatever it is. It's like you're gonna get into that mindset that, oh, okay, like
I'm high, now I'm gonna go do something.
Yeah, exactly. And your brain's gonna recognize that. Like it could be a really powerful way to build habits too.
Yeah.
So like I learned that from the book The Power of Habit. Yeah. I don't know if you've read that, but it's a good book.
I've read parts of it, but not the whole thing.
It's a good book.
What part like reminds you reminds you of it?
So like they talk about how, building a habit, a lot of it is like comes from like the brain being familiar with something. Yeah. So like if you brush your teeth and there's mint in the toothpaste, like there used to not be mint in toothpaste.
Yeah.
They started adding mint oil into toothpaste because it gives you that cool feeling, like your teeth are clean. And so you sort of get into the habit of like your brain's recognizing like, oh, okay, like my mouth doesn't feel minty right now. I need to like clean my teeth and have that minty fresh feeling. Yeah. Even though it's not necessarily cleaner because of the mint. Yeah. It's more just like a habit
your
with
teeth
your brain.
were dirty.
Right, exactly. So your teeth could have just been clean and your brain is just like, oh, well, I feel like, we need to brush our teeth and we need to get this clean feeling in order to feel clean. But the reality is if you used like an unflavored toothpaste, it would taste awful, but it would give you the same amount of cleaning. So it's like, it's one of those things where like with weed, if your brain recognizes like, oh, okay, like this is like, the flavor, the effects, the process of, rolling up or whatever you do to smoke, like it kind of puts the brain into that state of familiarity. And then it's like, oh, okay, we're doing this. And whatever you do after that, if you're going to be used to it,
your brain's going to be expecting.
Your brain's going to be ready. If you always work out after smoking weed, that's the only time you smoke is before working out. Your brain, you're just going to be ready to work out.
That's funny you say that because like when I used to like smoke, and let's say like it's an off day, I would smoke. I'd be like, damn, like I really want to go work out right now. Like I actually had like cravings to go work out. And I think working out in itself, if you do it like all the time for like months like straight, I think that itself is addicting because of all the endorphins you're releasing. Yeah. But like paired with like the ritual of like smoking before and then going to work out, that definitely like I remember that. Like I would be like ready to go work out and be like, damn, it's my off day. Oh, yeah. I would usually just skip the off day. Like I would just go work out. Right. But it's not good for my body, obviously, so I try not to do that, but
that's all right. It's not good for you.
Yeah, it's not, but it's good to let your muscles heal and stuff.
Yeah. But speaking of that though, there are people who like get addicted to weed, but I mean there are people who get addicted to, going to the gym or eating cheeseburgers too. And like, marijuana is addictive because it's an enjoyable feeling. I don't know if it's like
I don't know if I would see it as an addiction. I would see it as like a habit, like a habitual thing. But if you do anything habitual, it's going to be like addictive versus going to be habitual.
True. But I feel like you don't get withdrawals if you quit smoking.
Yeah. A lot of people said that you can't fall asleep I think that's a complete lie.
I've had that though.
Really?
Yeah.
I stopped smoking. It's been like 6 weeks now where I might have smoked like once, like here and there, like in between. But like for the most part, I've just been completely clean. And I haven't had any problems going to sleep at night. Like not at all.
I mean, if I smoke
the dreams have been crazy as hell, though. I'll tell you that.
I feel like it depends how much you smoke too, how much of a tolerance you have.
Yeah.
Because like when I was living in Colorado, I would dab all the time, and then I quit just cold turkey.
Yeah.
And I was just like, did not smoke or do any dabs or anything at all. Didn't take in any sort of THC, and I say sober for like 2 months, just because I wanted to, not because I had to. Because I had plenty of dabs. I was just like, I just got sick of it. I don't want to dab anymore.
Yeah.
And I was dabbing like every single day.
Yeah.
So like once I quit, dude, those first like 2 nights I could not fall asleep. But once I did, dreams were crazy.
When you were quitting, did you look up like withdrawal symptoms to like see what you might be experiencing?
I mean, yeah. So I definitely did look up like withdrawal symptoms for marijuana.
Yeah.
So you can get more irritable. So I was definitely seeing I was getting like more pissed at stuff.
Yeah.
Just more than I normally would, but not like a roid rage level or anything like that. But I would just be like more frustrated, things like that. Like it was just a couple days, and then after that, it was all good.
One of my friends also, he quit smoking. He just quit like forever. Like he's never gonna do it again. Mm-hmm. And then like he had the same issue where he said that he went like a month where he was having like horrible sleep. Like he just looked so tired all the time. And he'd be up like all night. He'd sleep during the day. And then like obviously he got through it now, but that's because the day that he stopped, he told me, he was like, these are the symptoms, and apparently I'm not going to be able to sleep. So I feel like just reading up on that and then knowing that, you're kind of like putting that in your head, and you're like, all right, now I'm not going to be able to sleep. Yeah. So when you're trying to go to sleep, you're like, all right, I'm not going to be able to fall asleep right now, and then obviously it's going to happen.
One of the things that I think like could help is like if you meditate instead, like if you're used to smoking weed, and I've done this when I quit weed, a few times in the past where, if I decide to take a break from smoking, instead of smoking weed, I'll just replace it. So I'll meditate. If I want to smoke weed, I'll just drink coffee or something like that instead.
Yeah.
But meditating, I feel like, gives you like a similar state of mind in the sense that after you're done meditating, you're relaxed, your mind's more calm. Yeah. And that's sort of what marijuana is doing. Yeah. For you anyway.
Like when you're inhaling, you take deep breaths. Like when you're just chilling, exactly. when are you going to be like, like when are you going to do that?
And it's like a relaxing thing. Like slows your heart rate down.
Yeah. It like gives you more oxygen.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, obviously when you're smoking, like maybe a little bit more oxygen.
Carbon monoxide. In there, I don't know.
Yeah. But another like big controversial topic like regarding weed is like when people are smoking like on the sidewalk, like or if people are smoking in public and like. Let's say little kids are around, or just people who don't want that, like being around them. Mm-hmm. But then, like to those people, I question them, like, what about cigs? Like, what about cigars? Like, if you're walking down the street, you can't like arrest someone for smoking a cig like on the street. It doesn't matter if you have a newborn child. Right. Like, there's nothing that you can do about that. Yeah. And that's probably worse than if someone was smoking like weed on the street. And you had like a newborn child. I mean, I'm not saying that it's good, but...
Weed's probably just the smell is stronger.
Yeah, so people are more annoyed about it.
I mean, the health effects of the secondhand smoke are not going to be as damaging, so...
Yeah. Which also needs to be investigated.
Yeah. They got to do more research on smoking marijuana, but if someone's vaporizing weed outside or something like that, I mean, people might be able to smell it a little bit, but it's not going to be, like, damaging to their health or, anything like... secondhand tobacco smoke, or even like secondhand vapor from like e-cig vapes and whatnot. It's like I don't think that stuff would be good to inhale either. Like if you're smelling that, the artificial smells and flavors they put into those things, like who the fuck knows what that's going to do to your lungs and your health. Yeah.
Like this topic just reminds me of this story from when I was in Cali. I was in like LA and I stayed at like the Hotel Continental. It's like the nicest hotel in LA. Oh yeah. And I think I just told you about this.
Yeah, you were telling me. Yeah.
So then I was like, first night when I was in LA, the dispensary was like within walking distance, so I just walked over. Like it was like 9. It was like right before it closed. I think they closed at like 10. So I walked over there. Like it was like
open late.
Yeah, maybe like a 4-block walk. So I walk over there. LA's pretty sketch at night, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
Pretty sketch. So I was walking back, dude, and there's this one guy just screaming in Arabic. And then, like, I just got the weed, so I was smoking, like, this was, like, a later time, actually.
Did you give him some weed?
No, I didn't give that guy some weed. But, I had some, and I didn't have a lighter. I left it up in the room. And the LA Continental, in order to get to your room, like, if you're on the 30th floor, you have to go to the lobby, which is on the 80th floor. So you have to take the elevator all the way up, and then you get in a different elevator, and then you go down to the 30th floor. So I was like, all right, I don't feel like dealing with that. I saw some people, like, smoking already. So I was like, hey, do you have a lighter? And then the guy just happened to also be, like, Arabic or whatever. Like, I don't really know the correct, like, term to use for that, but
Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I asked him, I was like, damn, like, that guy's crazy. Like, and then he was like, yeah, he's saying, like, you all remember me. And he was just this guy's in the middle of the street screaming, like, at the top of his lungs, you will remember me, you will remember me.
Oh my God.
Dude, and when I was crossing the crosswalk, I walked, like, where you are, like, this is how close I was. I just walked right past him. And he was screaming this in my face. And I was just like, all right, buddy.
Leave the area immediately.
Yeah, I was freaking out because I stayed at the nicest hotel. So I was like, damn, is this guy about to do something in my hotel right now?
He's either about to jump off a building or detonate a bomb.
Oh, shit. Dude, but yeah, that was crazy. But, like, back to the topic that I was trying to talk about, like, when the very first night when I was there, the next morning, like, I bought 2 J's, I smoked one that night, and then the next morning, I was just smoking in the plaza of the hotel outside. And then, like, obviously people who are at the hotel, they're all, like, not from LA, so they like, were just walking by, and I'm just right in the plaza smoking, like, not even off to the side or anything, like, right in the middle. Like, here's like, the crosswalk, right, or, like, the walkway right here that everybody's coming out of the hotel in. I'm just, like, first seat right next to it, so I'm just, like, weed smoke everywhere.
Dude, I did that at a hotel in Nebraska, and I didn't realize I was in Nebraska. Like, I thought I already made it into Colorado, and I was just so tired. I wasn't paying attention, like, to my maps or anything. I just pulled over, took the nearest exit, got a hotel there, and I was like, go up to the hotel and just, like, roll up my weed. And I was literally thinking, like, oh, I mean, it's legal here, like, it's Colorado, you know, it doesn't matter. And so I go outside, I, like, open up my phone and look at my maps. I'm like, all right, how much further do I have to drive here? I open it, I'm like, oh shit, I'm in Nebraska. I just, like, walk over to this forest by the side and smoke over there.
Damn.
I'm like, I could not smoke it in the parking lot here because if someone sees me, it would be bad.
Oh, yeah.
Or smells me.
Yeah.
So
I was in the plaza, like, right in the open.
Yeah.
And then these people, I heard them say, like, oh, wow, like, I can't believe it's so, like, allowed here. And then, like, I heard them say something about how, like, in their city that it wasn't legal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they like went in the hotel, and then, like, a couple minutes later, the security guard comes out, and he's just like, hey, it doesn't, I don't care that you're smoking, but you just can't smoke on the plaza, like, in the plaza of the hotel. So I was like, oh, okay, like, where could I go? And then he's like, just go out on the sidewalk, and, like, it's legal to smoke on the sidewalk. And I was like, it's legal? What? I was like, it's legal to smoke on the sidewalk? And he's like, yeah, like, you'll be able to, like, just go out there and you'll be able to. I was like, all right. So I guess I was just taking his word on it. I didn't actually look into it.
Right.
But then I went out on the sidewalk, and I was like, finishing up the J. And then these 2, like, bicycle cops just came, like, right there. And I was literally on the sidewalk, and they're, like, right next to me. So, you know, like, in Chicago, you would get, like, arrested, like, if you were smoking in public like that. You would literally get arrested.
Oh, yeah.
So then, like, you know, the bicycle cops right there, and I was just, like, you know, trying to hide it, like, oh, hey, guys. They're just looking at me.
It's not me, it's the homeless dude.
Yeah. But then they were just like, oh, hey, like, have a nice day. I was like, oh, thank you, guys. Like, you too. You guys are chill as hell.
Yeah, it is pretty chill. Damn.
So I guess, like, just smoking on the sidewalk is 100% okay in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know in Colorado, like, it's not technically allowed for people to actually smoke in public, but I definitely smelled it. Like, I'll smell people driving.
Same thing in Vegas.
Weed and smoking weed in their cars and shit, just in public with all their windows down. Like, you can see smoke coming out their windows.
Yeah, it just smells like dank.
Yeah, it smells like dank behind them. Like, they literally don't care. Like, a lot of the tourists, I feel like, are, like, more likely to smoke in public because they don't have their own place where they could smoke. Like, they can't smoke in a hotel. Yeah. Which kind of sucks. Yeah. But, like, a lot of those tourists are like, all right, well, where do we smoke then? Yeah, like, they're just like, they have that fuck it mentality. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't care. Or they don't even know. They think, like, in Colorado, it's like, oh, weed's legal, I can just smoke weed fucking
Yeah. Like, same thing when I was in Vegas, like, right on the strip. Dude, people are just, they have dab pens, they're popping edibles. Like, dude, so many people have weed on the strip of Vegas. Yeah. And there's, like, I'm sure, like, you know, it's probably someone's job to, like, try and limit that. Yeah. But, like,
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. There were so many people smoking on that strip. It was
and
crazy.
it's like all tourists out there too. I
Yeah.
mean, how many people walking the strip are actually people that live there? Probably not that many.
Well, the homeless people, like I told you the other day, the homeless people, like I was taking pictures for Instagram. So I was just like right in front of the Venetian Hotel, and I think they saw me with my camera and stuff, so they asked me for money. And I was just like, they had like nice clothes and stuff on them, like not like Gucci or anything, but it was like, you know, it didn't look like they were very homeless or like needy.
Yeah.
So I was like sorry, like I don't have anything, which like, you know, I don't just have like racks and be like, yo, here, like here you go. So
Give
like
a single penny.
Yeah. So then, like, I posted up, like probably 10 feet away from them just to get a picture in front of the Venetian. So I'm setting up my tripod and stuff, and then, like, I take my pictures. I have, like, a self-timer on my camera, so then I just, like, I took my picture. Then I was, like, taking my tripod back down, like, putting it into my backpack. And then, like, when I'm walking away, I walk past them again. I just see them, like, packing a bowl full of weed. I'm like, dude, you just asked me for money. Like, you have a bowl, first of all,
That's
and
what
you're
they're
just
doing
blazing
with the
weed.
with the money.
Yeah, that's all they do with the money.
Weed. Some of it's going to crack or meth or heroin or whatever they do.
That just kind of, I was like, come on, guys. Are you kidding me right now?
Dude, when I was a kid, I gave this homeless guy a $20 bill. It's the biggest waste of money of my entire life.
You don't know what he did with that $20.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Maybe he like started a business.
I just like he looked like he was like, I don't even know, like he just looked like he was like asleep or something, and he was like holding this cup in front of him. So he just like passed out, and it was kind of dark out too. And I was coming back from the Cubs Sox game, and I just had a 20 in my pocket, so I saw him, and I just like right as I was approaching, I like pulled it out of my pocket and just like dropped it into the cup super like nonchalantly.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't even know if he saw it, and then we were like all like half a block down. He just like gets up and just yells. He's like, "Hey, thanks, man!" And I just like waved at him.
Hell yeah.
I was like, dude, you better
Well, I think we're
spend that on crack.
Yeah. I think we're coming up to the hour mark right here, so I think we should end it there. I think we had a good conversation, a lot of entertainment for the guests. Let us know in the comments below, like if you guys have any like opinions on what we're talking about. If you like know any friends who are also interested in this, make sure you share it with them, or just like, I don't know if you could tag people on YouTube, like tag them if you can.
And our Patreon too.
Oh yeah,
we need beer money to buy this beer for the podcast.
Yeah, we need some beer money. So
if you guys want to make a donation, it'd be greatly appreciated. Every dollar counts.
Yeah, the Patreon is linked below. It'll be a clear link, like it'll say Patreon right there. So love you guys. I would appreciate that. We both appreciate that. So with that being said, Brewski Bros, if you like this video, if you like the podcast, make sure you hit that like button, because it would definitely help us out. You know, we need to use that algorithm so we can reach more people. So leave the comments, smash the like button, and if you want to see more of our videos in the future, make sure that you subscribe. And when you do, make sure you hit the bell next to it, so that way you'll be notified every time we release a new video. So,
and every video, or every podcast, I should say, is going to be on a different topic. So if you guys have any topics in mind that you guys want to hear us talk about, let us know in the comments below, and we'll try and get some of those ideas into podcasts. And then one other thing, if you guys want to learn some more about this beer, or find out where to buy this 420 strain G13 IPA from Sweetwater, the website is sweetwaterbrew.com.
And the link is also below, so go check it out. All right, Brewski Bros, we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.